hit it and flip it, we did it off the 9. Stay in the kitchen, I'm never off of mine. And now I'm Kemp in his blind.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're listening to this. I'm going to upload this to the feed right after. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm just going to load it right to the feed when it's after. I don't know what you niggas' schedules are now. You might have a late night shift. You want to listen to a pod. So I'm going to just do that shit. I'm not going to tweet it out to the next morning, but it'll be on the feed if you listen to this. So maybe some of our takes on Heat, Knicks, or Lakers, Warriors won't be as old because you listen to it the same day. But we are back, episode 180 of Ball Don't Lie. It's your guys, Scott and Dante here. We are here. It is a very beautiful day in Los Angeles. The weather is finally breaking. No more rain. I know people who don't live in LA probably listen like, this nigga here. It's probably like a lower like 60. Yes, this is true. This is true. But I live in, I live in a privileged world right here. So as I feel like Mikey just put us in the chat that like blew my day, but
I don't even want to read it, bro, because I already know it's some bullshit. The nigga
so
Elo and Tora Quad.
No, it's beer related. So everybody was trying to figure out where the fuck if the Bears Chiefs games gonna be played in Germany, and Mikey just put in the chat. What do you say? Yeah, they're gonna be going to. They're not going to Germany. They're gonna be going there somewhere out next year. They're going overseas next year. Now he hasn't sent the link or anything of Father City, so I'm hoping this nigga's wrong. I really don't want to spend. I don't want to go to Kansas City twice in one calendar year. Like, no disrespect to the great people of Missouri and Kansas City. I am a big city elitist. I wanted to be in Germany, drinking German beer, having a good time, using a new passport. But no, it looks like I'm going to be in fucking Kansas City arguing about The Wire Season 2 in my hotel with my brother in probably November or some shit like that. Anyway, if you listen to Barbershop,
it's going to be
nasty. All right, so if you listen to Barbershop Podcast, you know we get on topic. That's what happens when I don't put my phone on D&D when I'm supposed to. Anyway, but we are here. Episode 180 is a great day in Los Angeles. Like I was saying, some people be like, oh, well, it's always great out there. No, when you get adjusted to this weather, it really isn't. Like, I need it to be no lower than 70. But we are finally breaking. I seen the women outside. They coming out. I mean, summer's on the horizon, man. How's it out there in the A?
It was 82 degrees in the A today, so
that sounds amazing.
That Georgia summer is coming. It's gonna be 96 at 10 a.m. But I take the good with the bad. I'd rather be hot than cold any day of the week. So glad to see the weather finally coming around.
Definitely, man. Just something about summer that just makes you feel good. Going to baseball games, drinking beer. By the way, I will not be going. My yearly trip to guaranteed rate will not be happening this year. I am not going anywhere. I will not be giving Jerry Reinsdorf even concession money. Okay.
I will say this. With this new pitch clock, as bad as they are, you're going to be out of there in an hour and 45 minutes. Tops.
Yeah, but I don't want to give him anything. I just don't. Like, granted, I haven't paid for a White Sox game in a very long time because I have a little thing called plug, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that was a slight flex. So I don't pay for the tickets, but I'm not paying for the food or the alcohol there either. With a shit product on the field. But I will be at Dodger Stadium this summer. I will be at Angel Stadium this summer. And I might be back at Petco. Shout out to homie Damien because he don't live that far from San Diego anymore. So
I'm about to say, I get the privilege of watching some great Brave baseball on a regular basis. I'll be there tomorrow. If you at the game, holla at me.
Holla at him.
Out the press box.
Step out the press box. See, Dante is a man of the people. Me, I will not be leaving that press box. You holler at me pregame. Well, I'm not seeing you, nigga.
I will see you on the walk to the car, nigga.
I will see you on the walk to the car. I tried to get up with a nigga doing halftime Bears game one time. And
I remember, nigga.
Like, I got up with you doing the Falcons game. I'm talking about like but I'm talking about like at Soldier Field. And nigga, it was just I'm on this side, west side, and I'm coming from a different area because press box on a different side. I'm not doing all this shit. But holla at Dante. By the way, shout out to Pierce, co-founder of this great network you listen to. He covered his first Phillies game yesterday. For MLB Bro also, but we also stand for Barbershop Network because we doing that shit too. So shout out to Pierce for that one, man. But Good time for playoff basketball. We don't have that much left in this season, but we're gonna get into it, man. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, to follow me and Dante on Twitter and Instagram at Barbershop Scott at October Zone Tay. Follow the Barbershop Network at Barbershop Net. Subscribe to the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbershop Network. Me and Dante will be recording Cinema Guys right after we're done with this. So there'll be a new episode of Cinema with the Guys available on Tuesday. We'll be breaking down episode 7 of Succession. I have actually 2 episodes of Cinema with the Guys coming this week. I'm gonna have a homie Trey on this week. We'll be giving y'all a 20-year breakdown of the past 9 Fast and Furious movies as for the cinematic excellence known as Fast 10 in about 2 weeks. So we're gonna do that, and then me and my brother will be doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 breakdown, which will be dropping for y'all next week. Amazing movie. I really enjoyed it. So we got that coming for y'all. And of course, Summer Sessions will be back. JR Bang will be back in the building. Hope y'all enjoyed episode about nothing, Volume 2. I think it just shows how good podcasters we are, because me, Merk, and Pav literally was on there for an hour. We didn't talk about shit. So we'll have more of a structure this week. JR Bang will be back, man. So, and of course, visit bcnet.com. You can check everything that you've missed from Barbershop Network, and we go on there. I'm not going to hold you, all the other shit, man. So let's get into it on this week's edition, man. Every series, now I hope by the end of this night, we're recording this on Monday, May 8th. By the end of this night, every series could be 2-2. The Celtics Sixers are 2-2. Nuggets the Suns are 2-2. Knicks Heat kick off in about 15 minutes here, and then Warriors are, I won't say on the brink, and I don't even know if I'll call this a must win for them because they are the Warriors, but big game for them and a chance for the Lakers to put a real dent into the Warriors championship defense. So we're going to get into that later on in the show, but let's talk about Sixers Celtics, one of the first of the 2 great games we saw on Sunday. Sixers bouncing back after a tough loss on game 3. Let's start off with the first thing, man. Mr. Joel Embiid. We over here talked about MVP shit all year. Finally named MVP. I will say I'm glad the MVP is named after the GOAT, but that is a shitty trophy. It looks terrible. But I'm glad they had the presentation. His family was there. Took us back to the old school days of the NBA where they would do that before. What you think about Embiid winning the MVP?
I mean, they finally bitched and complained about it enough, so they gave it to him. But I mean, shout out to Embiid. He is a great player. I don't want to say that as if he's not a great player. He definitely is. But they could have went either way. But they decided to give it to Embiid, and hopefully for his sake, they can get at least to the conference finals. I feel like, for me, I hate when people win MVP and then lose in the first. Dirk did that dumb shit. Lost in the first round. Like, just going out sad. So, you want to see him. Plus, for as much as we talk about the process, like, Joel Embiid is the process. Like, look 100%. Look at everybody who was supposed to be on that team who's not on that team no more. Like, that's his team. So,
I mean, look at the general manager who did the shit. That nigga's not there. Daryl Morey's not there.
Yeah, so you got to really tip your cap to him. You feel me? So, I'm glad to see Embiid get it. Like I said, they did enough complaining and posturing for it. They finally gave it to him. So, hopefully he can stay healthy and help his coach not choke this shit away, because we know Doc is good for that.
I will say this about Embiid. I think Embiid is great for the game. He's one of my favorite players. You can really tell that it meant a lot to him. The waterworks up there and things like that. But like I said, I feel like all 3 candidates would have been worthy winners, whether it had been Giannis, Jokic, whatever, it'd have been fine. But I'm just glad it's over, because this, one of the many issues I have with NBA Twitter, this was the most unbearable fucking MVP discussion maybe ever. Like, it was just shit that had nothing to do with the actual award. People acting like they don't know how people vote for the award. Like, this is like the voting for has changed ever. It was just really annoying. So I'm glad it's over. I'm really actually glad NBA season's almost over. I know I sound like Charles Barkley right now saying that on the basketball podcast, but oh my God, NBA Twitter makes these games unbearable, which is why I try not to tweet when I'm watching games, because it's just miserable. But shout out to Joel Embiid for winning it, and we're gonna see what happens, man. So, game 4, the Celtics Sixers game. Sixers won by 1 point in overtime, 116-115. James Harden had a massive game. He had 42 points. 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 47 minutes total. Joel Embiid wasn't bad himself, 34 points, 13 rebounds. Now, I did have a problem with, I feel like Joel's passiveness at the end of the fourth quarter in overtime. And I think that was a lot more to do to the great defense by Al Horford. But I feel like you're getting like the whole James Harden experience in this series, where he's great one game, ass the next game, great one day, ass the next game. What do you make of James Harden's performance like this? Do you think he can get any type of consistency?
No. James is who he is at this point. We've been having this conversation for the past 5 straight fucking years. Like, James is James. One game he gonna give you 35, the next game he gonna give you 15. And like it's crazy to see, and especially with the type of talent we know he has. But at this point, it's what you show me, it's what you prove. And time and time again, he's showing you this is what you're gonna get from James Harden come playoff time. So I mean, it's still with having Embiid on his team, which is, you know, I ain't gonna say arguably, since OKC is the best teammate he's ever had. So he has somebody that can help carry that load. So I'll probably say the closest he had was when him and Chris Paul both Chris Paul got hurt, which is, you know, routine at this point, but they both stunk it up.
Chris Paul did something wrong to somebody. That nigga gets hurt every year.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for him. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, exactly. But no, with James, it's just a matter of like, I think this is just who he is. I think, like, probably how we've seen other players who rise to that moment. I think James got days he rises, and other days he's like, oh, hey, we're gonna get these niggas tomorrow. Like it is what it is.
Exactly, 100%. I thought it was a big time performance last night. They needed it. I'm not really like too worried about the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? To me, the thing with the Celtics is, you know, is this series for them. I think there's no excuse for them to at least make it to the NBA Finals. I thought the biggest obstacle all season to me was going to be Giannis and the Bucks. Them niggas aren't a factor right now. So I think that this is their shot. And in this game, man, I think that the main thing wasn't really what the Sixers did. It's what the Celtics did not do. Like, I didn't leave this game thinking, oh, well, the Celtics in trouble. I know it's 2-2. Anybody can technically win the series. But I still think the Celtics are in a good spot. I don't think it's really about them. You know, you got a guy like James Harden, who we just named his inconsistencies. Much as I love Embiid, he was getting a little locked up there by Al Horford. He was getting a little locked up there by Al at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a little passive. There was a couple, you know, even the pass to Harden for the game winning 3. I don't think that was something where it's like he was intentionally looking for Harden. That nigga was just had nowhere to fucking shoot. You know what I'm saying? Because he had, you know, I think he was guarded by Marcus Smart or some shit like that. But the Celtics, to me, their biggest problem right now is trying to get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the same page consistently. Jaylen Brown came out on fire. I think he had the first 12 points for the Celtics. And then this nigga just didn't do shit after that. I mean, he finished with 24 points, which, you know, is decent, but like he took no shots in the fourth and overtime. Yeah,
I mean, that's those guys. They have a very interesting dynamic, and this is another conversation we've been having for fucking years. And so it's to the point now where like we all believe Jaylen is out of there. Like he's done with the city of Boston. And so when you see a game like that, where like we all see him, he can get his bucket when he want to get it. And for you to take 0 shots, that's my thing. Like with the Warriors game the other day, Bron's just a little older, so sometimes, you know, it may take him a minute to, you know, get everything flowing. But like with Jaylen, I really get confused when he goes into these spurts, but he just doesn't shoot the basketball. Like it always makes me wonder, like, is he like trying to prove a point? Like, y'all see y'all boy over here. Like, obviously, I don't want to start shit, and they seem like they cool and good teammates, but it's like, at what point do you say, all right, I'm about to, like Shaq said this last night. He was like, I don't care who is supposed to be the better player. If you score more, why the fuck are you deferring? Like,
right.
Like, because like one they asked him, Chuck asked him, he said, did you ever have to tell Kobe to go get his? He said, hell no. Like, even if you number 2, but if you number 2 and your skill set is scoring the basketball, and number 1 ain't scoring the basketball, go get it. Like, he had 24. I think Tatum had 23. But it's just like, at some point, you know, I know they love to play team ball and all that, but no, if you the guy or if Jalen, you see the guy ain't doing his job, you got to do it. You got to step up and do it. So I think that it makes me wonder, like, if it's just more so of hey, if we win, we win, but if not, I'm out this bitch anyway. So I really don't care.
That's what it comes down to. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to my co-host Dante for having his TV facing this way, so I can see the game while we're recording. My TV is on the other side of the room. But I think, like, yeah, you're right. Like, Jalen was just even using the post game, like, real nonchalant. Like, okay, maybe I should have took a couple more shots. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but he's so out. He's done. Like, he's a restricted free agent, right? He's not even unrestricted. He's restricted. So it's it's either the Celtics pay him enough to where he's satisfied, or they gonna trade that nigga, try to get something for him. But I just feel like I feel like this whole playoffs, man, this whole postseason, and this kind of goes to what Draymond said a week ago after they beat the Kings in Game 7. We keep talking about new era this, new era that. These young niggas ain't ready. That's why you got the Brons and the Stephs and the Dre's and the older guys still here, still doing that thing because the young niggas ain't ready. Like, and that's what we seeing right now. As in, Tatum should be much better than he is. We keep saying, me, you, Pavi, and I'm gonna shout Damian up because Damian's over here on Wednesday. Like, y'all niggas never said I said the same shit about Jay Tatum. So I'm like, yeah, because you're a North Carolina fan, you automatically gonna shit on Jay Tatum.
Every chance he get. Like, we've been saying this. Like, even that tying 3, that nigga pushed off. Like, 100% pushed off. I don't know what the fuck the ref was looking at. He was right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where they need to get on the same page. But I feel like it's enough because, as you just said about Doc Rivers, they're going to find a way to shoot themselves in the foot any goddamn way. That's what it amounts to. If you give Doc a chance to fuck up, his team is going to fuck up. That's just the way it goes. That's what we've seen our entire lives. Like we say time and time again, if it wasn't for that Boston team, like, which won
for him and Tom Thibodeau,
janky circumstances, but the Doc's legacy would be a lot different. And I don't like to shit on Doc because we are all pro, keep a black man employed over here. We want the man to stay with it.
Unless that black man is Kenny Williams.
Oh, that nigga needs to go home.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, but like I said, I keep doing the Stephen A with Doc. Cool nigga. I met him before. Fun guy. Nigga can't coach like that. So the Celtics just gotta stay the course. And Joe Mazzulla, hear me very clear. You cannot take timeouts until the next game. They are there for a fucking reason. Use that shit. Like, they could have won the game if they were just a nanosecond quicker with the execution. They easily win. They win the game. They're up 3-1. We're not even sitting there talking about this shit.
And also, if they win this series, what we're gonna talk about is, did Doc really just let this rookie coach out coach him?
Yep.
We're gonna have to start a dialogue about Doc. What's Doc's real name? Glenn
Rivers.
We want to talk about Glenn. We want to talk about
Glenn Rivers of Maywood, Illinois. That's a Glenn Rivers. That's exactly what he is, man. But other question, man, we're gonna get into Knicks Heat later on in the show. But my question for you: do you think that what we're watching right here with the Celtics and the Sixers is the real Eastern Conference Finals, and the winner of this will go to the NBA Finals?
Essentially, yeah. Like, obviously, I don't want to discredit the other team, so I hate saying shit like that. But no, it is. These are the best two teams in the Eastern Conference, and whoever wins this, I think the Heat or the Knicks, probably the Heat, but they'll make it entertaining. But nah, this is the cream of the crop right here.
Yeah, it'll be the Knicks or the Heat will make good filler for the championship DVD. But I don't think they're coming out of the actual. I'm with you. I think this is the heavyweight fight right here in the East because Giannis and his non-failure just had to lose. Fucked all my. This was bracket. My bracket got busted in the first 2 weeks of this goddamn season because me and you both had them win the championship. Mike Budenholzer fired, which happened over the last week too. Any quick thoughts on that? I really don't have any besides long overdue.
Hire Nick Nurse. That's really all I got. But
actually, that was a great hire.
That's really all I got. But
great hire.
I think and it's kind of fucked up with everything Buzz going through for him to lose his job on top of all of that. But I mean, that's the game. It's still a business. And you know, at the end of the day, like we've all said, it's kind of crazy to say it, but it's reality. Like, had they not won that championship, he probably would have
He'd
got
been out
fired
2 years ago.
already.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
he probably
Exactly.
would have been gone.
If KD foot was
Half
an
an inch
inch
shorter.
he'd have lost his job someone 2021. So we
Yeah.
do feel bad, you know, on a human level for Bud. You know, he's going through a lot of shit that we didn't know about. And I hear people say we didn't know about this. It's not our fucking job to know about this shit. Like,
Yeah, it's
people
his
have
personal
lives,
life.
like personal shit. We don't need to know about what's going on. But we, you know, all love him, prayers up to his family. But on the job tip as a coach, should have been done a long time ago. But let's go over to the Western Conference, man. A series that I think both of us thought was going to be over pretty quickly at the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Nuggets and Suns, man. That was one of the best offensive showings I've ever seen, you know, in a basketball playoff game. Of course, the 2-time MVP Jokic had 53 points, 11 assists, only 4 rebounds, which is weird for Jokic. KD, 36.6 assists, 11 rebounds, and motherfucking Devin Booker, 36 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds. This coming off game 3, we had 47 points, and they had 40 points off the bench. The question here, man, that we start this series up is, who do you think is Devin Booker the playoff MVP right now, or would you give it to Jimmy Butler?
So far, I would give it to Devin. I think we got to give it to Devin because we expect this from Kevin Durant. But with Devin, we've had that conversation over the last 2 years. It's like, all right, is he gonna make that leap? You know, is he a superstar? We've had this conversation in like the past few playoffs, especially when they made the finals. You know, and then he got to the finals. It kind of, I ain't gonna say stunk it up, but he fell off.
He was good the first couple games, but the 4 they lost in a row, he stunk the joint up.
Yeah, compared to how he was playing the playoffs. So it's always been a matter of when is Devin gonna take that jump. So right now, you gotta have him as the MVP. He was playing lights out. Like that last game, when he was just pulling from anywhere and like pull a defender in his face, didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Come down off a pin down screen, it don't matter. Wet, you feel me? Like Devin Booker, and again, I'm gonna probably say this every time until Zach proves me wrong. I want to apologize for ever comparing Zach LaVine to Devin Booker.
I want to apologize too. I did the same shit.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Zach and his empty calorie numbers. I apologize.
They are both light skinned. That's it. They are not the same. As
the co-president of the light skin delegation, remember I said that we were putting Jason Tatum's papers in review last NBA Finals. Zach LaVine is you're under surveillance. In the words of Stephen A. You're under surveillance, my guy. Don't make me look bad tonight, Stephen. By the way, don't make me look bad tonight. Step it up, nigga. Step it up, nigga. I don't want to tweet pimp down at like 10:15 Pacific time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know if Wardell got another 50 ball in him, but we'll get into that later.
We'll definitely get into that later. I think Devin. I tweeted this last night. I think Devin probably should be the MVP just because offensively he's just been like on another fucking level. But I will say this about the playoff MVP. By the way, this is an award we're making up because there is no playoff MVP. One thing I'll give Jimmy over Devin is Jimmy's also playing defense on the other end. And on top of that, Jimmy's also being guarded by the team's best defender because there's a little 7-foot guy on the Suns called Kevin Durant, and he's hitting the most of the defensive pressure. That's no respect to Devin. But I think that nobody expected the Heat to be doing what the fuck they're doing right now. So if anybody wants to take Jimmy, I'm not mad at that. But I have to say, Book is just unlocked. I feel like another level of offense that we all knew he had in him, but we were just waiting to see. Like, it's just automatic. Like, the thing about that game last night that was crazy, it's not like the Nuggets was playing bad defense. Like, they were playing good defense. These were tough shots that KD was making, that Book was making. And it was just like there was nothing they could do. And there was even shots of Jokic, shots people on the bench, just looking like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And they got to the point where I thought this series was going to be over in 5. Not the game 3. I was like, yeah, but, you know, if you looking for 87 points from both of those guys, you know, yeah, they're capable of doing it, but eventually they're going to run out. But Monty Williams, I think, you know, we talked about adjustments, and I think, I don't know if last week we had Pav on, and we were both like, all three was like, man, Monty finna be under the spotlight if he'll make some changes. He finally realized, hey, I have other guys I should probably be playing. He had TJ Warren just on the bench, not doing anything. You know, he had what's my man, Terrence Ross on the bench, Landry Shamet. I'm not saying these guys are like phenomenal bench guys, but you can get something out of them to give your stars a little bit of rest. And they did an amazing 40 points off the bench. And I think like the Nuggets had like 8 or some shit like that. Do you think that Monty has found a strategy to finally win this series?
No. I think he just has 2 really great scorers on this team. Like, that's really what it's come down to. Like, yeah, he's made some adjustments, and I don't want to discredit that. But right now, KD and Book are going nuts. So if you got guys, 2 players scoring 75, 80 points, I would hope you could find 3 other niggas to give you the rest of the points you need to win that basketball game. So right now, I won't say he's found a formula. I would say more so his best players are heating up right when you need them to.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a strategy to win, because I still think that the Nuggets are in a pretty good position. By the way, this is hilarious. Chris Haynes just said the Lakers will extend the championship ring to all players who were on the roster at any point during the season. So if the Lakers win the championship, Russell Westbrook and Pat Beverly will be NBA champions. And also, Pat Bev said on his podcast that he would be there ring night, because we all know Patrick Beverly is shameless.
The nigga threw a party when he got traded to the Lakers, like he's about to be the star.
Like, what the fuck? Bev, man. He's hilarious. I love people who are shameless and they know they're shameless and they double down on them being shameless.
Because it's really, I think with that is more so of a like, would you rather me just sit here and just be miserable? Like, fuck you. Like, I'm excited. Like, I know my role. I know what I do. But that Laker party was extra. He had a cake with like a Laker jersey. That shit was a lot.
I will say this. This even being brought up when you're up only 2-1 in the second round series is hilarious, by the way. There's a lot more shit to be done. And they're going to get me talking about the Lakers. I'll talk about the Lakers later. Yeah, you know how we do. We jump up. But what I was saying about the Suns, I don't think Monty has found like a strategy to win, because I still think Denver's in the driver's seat. But I really don't know, because the Book and KD are that damn good. To with a point where like it defies all logic just how offensively gifted they are. I'm not saying that, people are like, well, they're not going to shoot them high rates. Yeah, they probably won't, but they'll be efficient enough. The question is, role players always play well at home. Yeah. Landry Shamet gave you 12 in the fourth. I'm betting good money that's not happening every game. Yeah. So the question is, if they can get the bench play to travel, then yeah, I say they get a good point, got a good shot. But I will say, I think this series is going 7.
Yeah, I think with that point, because I agree, we all know role players play better at home. You don't need like the whole bench to travel. You need one person. It's like when Kobe went into Boston and he said, yo, I need one motherfucker to ride with me. Like, I need one person to help me win this game, and we're gonna get this shit back to LA. Fishing. Yeah, like you just need they need that one guy who's gonna step up and be that person on the road to have their game travel. And that's going.
You need a D Fish. I know Damian don't want to hear this, and I know Damian is listening because he hates Derek Fisher, but you need a D Fish. Derek Fisher is one of the most clutch players in Laker history. I know you don't want to hear it, Damian.
I'm gonna say you need a D Fish on your team, not in your personal life.
Not in your personal life. You do not need Derek. If you have
keep that nigga away from your family.
Life, yes, kick him out now. But you need a Derek Fisher, and I think even Kobe knew that, because Derek Fisher said in the interview, he said, "Yeah, me and Kobe, that was like my close friend on the Lakers, but I've never been in this nigga house."
Yeah, I said no.
Coming from the man who said, "Friends come and go, but banners hang forever." R.I.P. my nigga Bean.
I am not surprised.
R.I.P. my nigga Bean. But I had on here, will Jokic be suspended? Obviously, that's been already answered.
Yeah. Nope.
Not Devin Book. I mean Jokic. I don't even really want to divulge much to the situation. I think it's fucking stupid. The Suns owner already tweeted that he didn't want anybody suspended. It's a great series. Go Suns. To me, it was like this. One, I'm pretty sure that Jokic didn't know who the fuck he was in the whole thing. Yeah. But number one, the nigga had the ball. I think a lot of people don't understand. The play wasn't dead. You can't grab the ball and then think that somebody's not going to grab it from you. And he also touched Jokic. So it's like, to me, it was a non-issue. You gave him a T. Gave him a little $25,000. Jokic can wipe his ass with $25,000.
Yeah.
Let's just move on, be fine. The fact there's even a conversation to get somebody suspended is like the problem We have NBA dialogue.
Bro, the funniest shit was fucking Isaiah Thomas putting both hands on Joker, like, hey, hold on.
Like a dirty West Side nigga that he is.
He said, hold on, relax. It's the owner right here. But how about you? Joker had no clue who he pushed. Like he kept calling the nigga a fan. And then Aaron Gordon was the one who was like, oh, that was the owner? I was like, yeah, you can't do that.
No, my favorite response is Michael Malone. He said, I don't give a shit.
It's like, nah, bro, like owner or not. But I also think the owner didn't have any ill intent. That was just kind of one of those oblivious rich moments where it's like, I own this bitch. So like he grabbed the ball like he was at the crib. He was cuffing that bitch. He's like, all right.
I'm glad he didn't pull the white dude card while I felt like I was in danger. He literally tweeted this morning, nothing was wrong.
That nigga flopped like Neymar though. That nigga fell out.
Here's a question. Did he flop or his just little ass get pushed by a massive human being?
That is also very true. That's a big man that pushed. That is a big
motherfucker. I get pushed by fucking Jokic, I'm flying 3 rows back. Easily.
That is facts though. Like that little forearm probably had a lot of strength to that motherfucker. And you know, he been rich so long, he not used to people putting their hands on him. Like
he pushes guys like Embiid around. Yeah. What do you think he gonna do to my ass? Well, that nigga who's smaller than me. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a stupid sideshow, man. But one last thing before we end this series, what do you think Denver needs to do to prevent this from going the distance of 7 games?
Gee, that's the thing, bro. Like I've said this about KD for years. You can't prevent shit he does. Like you got to just pray he having an off night. And so with him playing like that and Book playing like that, and on a night where Book takes a step back, KD could just turn up. Like so, I think for Denver, you have to play the game that got you there. And you really, I mean, obviously, you know, throw bodies and try to contest them as much as you can, as long as they're not out here just shooting wide open jumpers. But at the end of the day, you got to play your game because 9 times out of 10 with Book and KD, these shots is gonna fall. Now we know Book don't like being double teamed, so you know maybe throw more double teams at him. But even with that, like you playing with fire because then you know somebody's gonna be open. So I think more than anything, they got to play the game that got them there.
Yeah, it sounds simple. It's not like one of them little basketball cliches, but they got to play their game. They got to play their game, and they can't let the Phoenix Suns dictate their pace. Since Chris Paul has been injured, these niggas been moving fast. Campaign, like real shit. The pace is picked up without that old nigga on the court. The pace is picked up.
Wow.
Cameron Payne. If you need any more proof that Chicago Bulls are terrible at fucking
everything.
Everything. Evaluate anybody. Just look at the niggas in the league who own their roster at some point still hooping. Except Chris Dunn, who is bagging groceries right now.
It is a tradition at this point. Yes. Every playoffs for the past 6 years, somebody who used to play for the Bulls is gonna go fucking crazy. It's usually Jimmy Butler, but 9 times out of 10, it's somebody else who used to play for the Bulls who goes crazy.
Lori Lee leaves, has a career year. You know what I'm saying? Like I said this, and I tweeted this morning. The Jimmy Butler trade to me was unforgivable in 2017, and Pavi can attest to this. We were at the I think it was the Lagunitas Brewery in 2017 in Long Beach to watch the 2017 draft. ESPN LA was hosting the draft party because this was the year that the Lakers drafted D'Angelo Russell. Not D'Angelo Russell. This is Lonzo Ball draft. And Lonzo Ball draft. And that's when the Jimmy Butler trade happened. I was distraught. I drank a lot that day. I even had a woman ask me, was I okay? Like, no, I'm not okay. It was unforgivable then, and it's really unforgivable now. If you see what this nigga's doing. So the Cameron Payne thing is just a little, cherry on top to the terrible evaluation by this basketball team. But the pace in this game is picked up. And, you be seeing Denver can't really go to it. So Denver needs to slow the game down or hope Chris Paul comes back. But they need to do their thing. I expect the bench to and we know that nigga is itching to come back. We're going to get a report before game 5 from Chris Haynes. Well, CP3 thinks he can try it out. And them niggas gonna be back scoring 95 points again. But
you better shoot that nigga a text. Stay home.
Stay home. Your time is up, dog. This is my shit now. But I just think that needs to happen. And the bench will play better. They'll be at home, so I'm expecting more bench play.
And before we move on, they got to get DeAndre Ayton the fuck up out of there.
Yes. Yes,
Man,
they do.
it's over, dog.
Yeah.
Man. I guess my head wasn't in it, nigga. What?
It's the fucking playoffs.
What? Like this? I've never heard somebody like check themselves out mentally the way he has these last couple games and the statements he's making. It's like, all right, fam. Like this, uh, shit like this make you appreciate somebody like JaVale McGee who just come to work, rebound, block shots, and run up and down the court. That's all I need you to do, bro. You big as fuck.
3-time champion.
That is
JaVale
all.
McGee.
That is all I need your big ass to do. And you are somebody who has a lot of skill. That's why, like, we were joking about it last week, but when Lexi said that shit, Lexi Brown, it was true. It's like, why are you playing like this?
Yeah,
Like,
too big.
You big as hell playing like this. But I think this is also a product of, the last 10, 12 years of big men trying to play like goddamn shooting guards. But that's just today's NBA.
It's today's NBA, man.
That guy, just to get him out of there. He needs to change the scenery.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Monty be benching this nigga with 8 minutes left in the fourth.
And with that being said, he'll be a future Chicago Bull.
Why does everything come back to the teams I hate the most? And the Bulls.
Aiden for Vooch. Get your mind right. Get your mind wrapped around it.
I'm laughing because I can see that shit happening. Aiden for Vooch. These niggas signed Dylan Brooks. AK go to tour. We got defensive stalwart in Dylan Brooks.
Somebody said the Bulls gonna sign Dylan Brooks. He's gonna be in Boys Town going crazy.
Nigga gonna be at them Cub games, man. Oh shit. By the way, Cub fans, ain't funny anymore, is it?
Welcome to the projects,
it ain't
nigga.
Funny more. Welcome back to the projects, nigga. We got a good seat over here. Y'all can get the fucking brew. We can sit on this couch as one happy Chicago baseball fan.
Welcome to the slums. We got crack pipes over there. We got
tweet me Cody Bellinger videos.
The elevator don't work over there.
The elevator don't work over there. The TL is silent now, nigga. Ain't none of us going to the playoffs, nigga. Y'all better get ready for Bears training camp. Fuck out of here. But anyway, let's move on. These other two series, we're not going to divulge too much into it because one is currently playing right now. If you're watching the video, you can see the video being played in the background as Dante sits over the city of Atlanta from his room. And we're also
like savings time. I hate it. I can't stunt like I used to.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on what the lights is looking like out there and shit. And then we're not going to divulge too much to the Lakers and the Warriors. They play tonight too. But we're just going to talk about this real quick. Now, as we are recording, now correct me if I'm wrong, if the NBA app is slow, but the score is 12-9 Miami right now. I don't know if that's the real score. Okay. So the question here, man, is the Knicks, who I picked to win this series in 6, they have no control of this series right now. Even the one game they won went down to the wire, and now it's without Jimmy Butler. Now we gave Vincent playing like fucking Jesus Shuttlesworth. What do you think has been the difference in the Knicks from this series compared to the last series against Cleveland?
I mean, they ran into a team that's actually tough defensively. A team that's just not gonna let you do the finesse. The Knicks are like as much as we talk about old school basketball, they do a lot of finesse shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of jump shots. Like Julius Randle, as big as he is, that motherfucker takes 36 shots a game. But he hasn't done that in this playoffs, which is part of the problem. I think one of their main issues is that you haven't been getting that consistent production from Julius. But I think overall, it's one of those things where I don't want to bash them too much because at the end of the day, we got to give credit to Miami and the defense that they playing. Because I mean, as we all know, Spo is top 5 dead or alive at this point. So
Filipino Jackson,
which is one of the greatest nicknames ever. But no, we know he's always gonna. That's one coach we know is gonna put his team in a position to succeed. It's never gonna be a situation where they missed this or this play wasn't drawn up because Spo fucked up. Spo don't fuck up. At this point, I can say that because we've watched Spo for over a decade now, essentially. Like, Spo don't fuck up. So, no, I think with the coaching that they have, it's showing you, when you don't have, no matter how great your coach is, because I do think Tibbs is a great coach, when you don't have all hands on deck and all the people you need to perform aren't performing, you're going to run into problems like this. So, like, the Knicks, unless you can get Julius Randle to beat Julius Randle, which is tough because his game, Julius Randle is one of those dudes where it's like, you see why he goes crazy in the regular season, but then when playoffs come and you playing the same good team over and over again, and they can
pick
game
up your
plan for
shitty
you,
tendencies.
and they can say, "Oh, this nigga goes left every play. All right, let's slide this way." You know, it's a lot different than okay, I'm playing Charlotte on Monday, and I'm gonna come down here and play Atlanta on Tuesday. You know, it's just a different ball game, and so we've seen that time and time again with bro. So, you know, they need that consistency from him because without it, I think they done.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head on Julius Randle. I think what would be great and it's great side entertainment is if TNT and ESPN put like a side cam on Jalen Brunson's face every time this nigga Julius pulls up for a contested jumper. I would love to see his reaction because he'd be looking like he pissed off.
And you notice Jalen does his post game presser with Josh Hart.
With Josh Hart, yeah. Now with that
with his dog Josh Hart.
With his dog Josh Hart eating pizza and shit. Like Josh Hart has never had that many podium games in his life. He needs to thank Jalen Brunson.
No, he needs to thank the city of New York.
New York.
They love niggas like Josh Hart.
They love the little 6 points per game niggas, but they play really hard. And that's no disrespect.
Did you see him down on the floor? Yeah, like
hey, Bulls fans like that stupid shit too. Bulls fans like that stupid shit too. We don't remember what the playoffs like, but I'm gonna start ranting every time I think about the fucking Bulls. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Like Julius Randle he's not good. You know, I never fell for just keep it, but he's not good. He has little hot moments, but I never fell for the bullshit. Like, and the Heat don't fall for the bullshit either. And I think the thing why it's so hard to take control of the series because Miami, that I hate the word culture in sports is very overused, but Heat culture is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And right now the Heat are playing with house money. They are trying to be like they have no expectations. I still can't. I done watched motherfucking. If you include the 2 playing games, so we didn't watch 10 games of them already, 10 postseason games of these things. I still can't figure them out. I still can't figure these.
Bruh, Kevin Love white ass just hit a 3-pointer. Kevin Love was glued to the bench in Cleveland.
And that's what I got Kevin Love's stats right here. And I was gonna name them all. I feel like Most Def on Chappelle. So I got this little CIA napkin. Look, this nigga here. This is his playoff points in the playoffs. 18 points in game 1 against the Bucks. Only 4 in game 2, 6 in game 3 and game 4, 15 in game 5. Yeah, 9 in game 1 against the Knicks, 8 in game 2. But the most important thing, this nigga's hitting threes. This nigga's hit like 3 threes a game all postseason. And I thought he was washed on the bench. That just showed you what that Miami water does for you. This nigga out there waking up, 85 degrees and shit. He ain't waking up in shitty ass. Yeah, exactly. He ain't waking up in shitty ass Cleveland every morning. No, he waking up to palm trees. This nigga went to UCLA. He used to this weather. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit to me is where like the Knicks. I don't even think the Knicks have pressure because the Knicks are also this series of success regardless. But the Heat don't give a fuck. And you got a nigga like Jimmy Butler. They had like a little fight in game 3. He over here dancing, twirling the ball. He's a super villain, dog.
Yeah. Jimmy's definitely embraced the person he is. And he knows that, like, whether people love him or hate him, he knows he's going to perform. And I appreciate that about Jimmy. Like, I appreciate that. Like, and that's one of my only knocks on KD. Like when he said that sucker shit about he knew he wasn't gonna get the love because it was Steph's team. It's like, oh no, nigga,
womp womp womp.
Like no, nigga, go get you a better set of friends, nigga. Like what are you doing? But no, like Jimmy is that guy, and like he's that guy, but he don't really. He's not arrogant, if that makes sense.
He's not arrogant. He just really, really believes in what he does. And the one thing I love about Jimmy, I love people who talk shit. And even when things don't go their way, they're like, okay, fuck you. I'm still going to talk. Like, you're not going to stop me from talking. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I like to do. Like, you're not
like when they lost. Yeah, when they lost and he was shaking his head like, okay.
All right, he like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I live in Miami. I'm rich. And I'm finna make this big face coffee in the morning. Nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this postseason, Jimmy's not a quote-unquote off-the-court superstar, but if we talking about on the court, he's one of them guys now. I feel like there's any discussion about that, you just don't like the nigga.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's just pretty much what I'm at with it. But I said Knicks in 6. I'm changing that. I don't think they're winning the series. I think the Heat are going to win. I don't know if it's going to be a 6. I don't know if it's 7. Shit, it could be 5. I just think the Miami Heat winning this damn series. I'm done guessing what they're going to do. That's just as long as Jimmy Butler's healthy. I think if they win tonight, if they win tonight, and by the time you listen to this podcast, these niggas is up 3-1. Hear me very good. If you think Jimmy Butler is not gonna relish sending these niggas home at the Garden in prime time, you don't know Jimmy Butler.
Double nickel.
You don't know Jimmy Butler. He would love nothing more. He did it in Milwaukee. He wants to do it here, man. So, Knicks, you better win tonight. But let's move on to this last series before we wrap this episode up. Warriors-Lakers, a series that everybody has been hyping up, us included. Really hasn't lived up to the billing like that. Game 1 was pretty decent. Game 2, the Warriors asked the Lakers what hand they roll up with, and then the Lakers did the same shit in Game 3. So Game 4 is tonight. Either when you're listening to this, the game be going or the game be over. The Lakers have an opportunity to go up 3-1. And I think if they go up 3-1, it will still be the most uncomfortable 3-1 ever, because you can still sell me on the Warriors going home winning the road game, and we right back here for Game 7. All this series depends on is the nigga I'm about to bring up, Mr. Anthony Davis. We just talked about motherfucking James Harden. I think you can say this about Bam Adebayo. You really don't know what kind of nigga you get from this nigga every damn playoffs. I mean, this is a guy. This is his stats against the in the playoffs. Game 1 against the Grizzlies, 22 points, 12 rebounds. Game 2, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 of 14 shooting. Game 4, 31 and 17. Game 5, 4 of 13. Game 4 was 4 of 13. Game 5, 31 points, 19 rebounds. Then Game 6 only had 16 and 14 with a blowout, so he didn't play that much. In the first game was the Warriors. This nigga was generational, 30 and 23. Game 2, this nigga only had 11 points, and then he had a pretty good game in Game 3 with 25-13. He is back. If we're going to trends, he's on trends to land in a stinker tonight. What's the issue with this nigga? Because I just don't get it.
Man. It's one of those things you really got to do a deep dive to try to figure this shit out, because it doesn't make sense. It simply does not make sense. I don't know. Like, do he be tired? Like, is it because he big? Because he be bigger than everybody else? I don't understand it, bro. It's really a question I can't answer, because like when you look at it and you see the pattern and the way it's developed, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, he'll give you 31, then 13, then 27, then 15, then 40, then 6. Like, it's extremely frustrating. And I know partially it is, the defense being played by the Warriors. Although, like you said, it's been one good game and 2 other blowouts, one on each side.
I don't even think it's the defense, because I don't think the Warriors have a defensive plan for Anthony Davis. It's kind of like what you said about KD. You got to hope the nigga have off days. Same thing with KD. The difference is AD give you them off days.
I'm gonna say, AD's gonna have one. He gonna have several, nigga.
He gonna get, like, if AD played the way, I'm not asking for 30 and 25 every night, but if AD giving me 25 and 12 a night, these niggas should win the championship, because not only does he do that, he locks up defensively. And that's the thing that matters here. And it's I'm not a Laker fan. I don't even like Anthony Davis. But it drives me up a fucking wall, because it's like wasted talent. Like, if you look at it, like, if you talk about adjustments, and like, the adjustment was JaMychal Green playing the game too. No, that wasn't an adjustment, nigga. This nigga AD was missing shots. These weren't contested jumpers. This nigga was just missing. This wasn't this wasn't like a masterful defensive plan by Steve Kerr. The nigga just missed it. If AD is AD, I love Stephen Curry. Love him. It's my third best favorite player of all time after Mike and Kobe. But it don't matter what that nigga do if Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. They have no option for him, and Lakers should win this series if he's him. So if he's here tonight, I will say this about Game 4. I think the winner of this game wins this series. I think if the Warriors win, they go home, win Game 5. They're going to lose Game 6, because there's one thing. There's 2 things that the Warriors trademark: turnovers and playing with their fucking food. So if they have an opportunity to close Staples Center, they don't have the killer instinct like they should. It's going to be a Game 7. But if the Lakers win Game 4 tonight, I don't think they win on the road in Golden State, but they're definitely closing out in Game 6 and go to the West Conference Finals.
Yeah, this is must win for the Lakers. I know as much as we talk about must win for the Warriors, I think it's must win for the Lakers, because to your point, this is going to be a very uncomfortable 3-1, because you know what the Warriors possess and who's on that other side. And I think, just sports are funny that way, even though it's a completely different team, completely different state. But what if Bron go up 3-1 and then Steph just return their favor and beat him, come back from down 3-1?
Poetic justice is what I say
sport.
that, folks.
Sports does shit like that. So that
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me, especially if they lose tonight. But I do think, tonight, Bron, you got to get in Anthony Davis' face and say, "Hey, look, nigga,
You got to punch that nigga in the chest, man.
This is why I brought you here for these moments. Yeah. Like get me to the fourth quarter and I'm gonna carry you to victory. But for them first 3, I need you to be acting a fucking fool out there and stay off the fucking floor. Yeah. I'd be so between him and Embiid. I'd be so tired of them being on the damn ground, bro.
Yeah, them niggas
niggas
be hitting the ground like Allen Iverson. Get the fuck up, man.
That shit is annoying, but no, you need AD to be AD, man. Like that's they gotta.
We say this every week. Whether he gets off in game 4 or not, we gonna be saying this shit again here next week. Cause that's just who the nigga is. Like, and I think too, like one thing that for the Lakers, like being down 3-1 when you're the home court advantage team, much different than being down 3-1 when you don't have the home court advantage, which is what makes the Cavs 2016 comeback so incredible. They won on Oracle floor twice. Granted, Draymond spinning for game 5, we're not finna get into that. The thing is this: if the Warriors lose tonight, the Warriors, they've come back from 3-1 before. I don't know if people remember 2016. Man, everybody's like, "Oh damn, we finna get Bron and KD in the finals again. It's gonna be Thunder Cavs." And game that they blew them out of game 5 at Oracle. Game 6, Clay showed up at Chesapeake Arena, and then Steph did what Steph did on Memorial Day 2016, and bye-bye. And that was it for the Thunder era right there. So if the Warriors lose tonight, I can see them winning it, blowing them niggas out in game 5, and then all they gotta do is win one road game, which we know they're more than capable of doing. And that's when the Bucks get tight, because even though the Warriors they lose, they're out. All the pressure will be on the Lakers. And you haven't lost at home, and you got to win here. Because if you go back to chasing of a game 7, and I know LeBron is great, that leads to my next topic. And by everybody, like Dylan Brooks is an asshole. He wasn't 100% wrong about LeBron. The nigga, like the little 35, 40-point LeBron, I don't think that nigga showing up this offseason. Now, I don't know if that's because he's come back too early from that foot injury. Maybe that's still hurting for him. But it's the first time, even if the Lakers win the championship, I think this is going to be the championship when it's not just my anti-Bron agenda here. He's legit second option right now. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah, no, I think the foot is definitely bothering him. I think they were saying like there was only like one doctor who told him he didn't need surgery, and that was the one he listened to play. So, I mean, you could see it where he's not nearly as explosive as we've seen him be, not throughout his career, at the beginning of this season. You feel me? So you could definitely tell that foot is bothering him, but him being the great player he is, he's been able to power through it. But I agree. I think right now it's safe to say that his goal, which this is why he brought Anthony Davis there in the first place,
100%.
is he wants to be a second option now. Like I said, I can get you to the promised land, but just hold me down as we head there. And then once we get there, I'll take us over the top. And so, yeah, I think that's safe to say, and that's not a knock on Bron. That's more so just reality setting in. And even though he's the GOAT at 36, GOAT of his era, even at 36, it's like, he's just older. So at this point, he can't do everything he used to do, and like even powering through injuries the way that's one of the stories D-Wade's always tell. He said, man, I seen him sprain his ankle like I look like it's damn near broke, and he just
the nigga heals up like Voltron, bro. Like,
yeah, he was just dead. I mean, as somebody who was a Bulls fan, he used to kick our ass. I know this all too well. Like, Bron don't really get hurt. Like,
the thing about Bron, and I'm gonna say this for all those people who think, this thing, I'm not a LeBron. I don't like LeBron James, and you would know from me and my podcast partner for about almost 2 years now, I don't say anything about this nigga that I think is ridiculous. Like, I have eyes. You know what I'm saying? I think I give respect where respect is due. I just don't like the nigga. But when it comes to him, the way he's playing right now, despite the fact that I don't think that dominant 30, 35 points per game in the playoffs, Bron is there anymore. What he's doing for a nigga at his age right now is incredible. Like, the nigga had a 23-20 game last round. So I don't want to say he's not doing his thing. But this is one of those situations where I feel like AD is the clear-cut number one. And I think LeBron likes that. Like you said, when they traded for AD, which was 4 years ago now, which is fucking crazy. The plan was for AD to be the next legendary big man, and that LeBron can take a seat back, get these chips without putting in so much work, add to his legacy, and then for the Lakers, when LeBron retires, this is your team now, AD. You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Davis is still like I think people forget Anthony Davis is still pretty freaking young. This nigga is
31.
31. Is he 30? 31. He's 30 years old. He's 30 years old.
Oh, he's 30. Okay.
30 years old. You know, if he can stay healthy, I know we say this all the time. He still got a couple more years. So I think it's a good scenario for him. But if we talk about the legacy of LA Lakers big men, he's going there. Look at what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did. Look at what Wilt Chamberlain did. Look at what Shaq did. I'm even gonna put my man Powell in there. Look what Powell did. It's time for you to step up. Remember when Powell got bitched in no way against the Celtics? What he do in 2010? He manned the fuck up and didn't let KG get in his head. It is your time, Anthony Davis. For y'all to be the defending champions, you gotta be who you're gonna be, man. So I think that's all we got on this particular series. There's really not too much. We don't know what's gonna happen in Game 4 tonight. I will say this about the free throw shit. If you think the NBA has conspiracy theory against having the team with arguably the most marketable player be eliminated, go touch some fucking grass. The reason the Lakers get so many fucking free throws is because they play a game that they live the line. The Warriors shoot all these damn threes. And when it's not making it, they're not going to the fucking free throw line. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, I think that's weird. Like, and like this argument in particular is one that separates the people who watch the game and the motherfuckers who just look at the box score. Like, damn, how they take 25 free throws and how only take 4? Like, well, motherfucker, Anthony Davis and Bron are going to the rack. Y'all are shooting 40-footers. Like, why are you confused? Like, don't get me wrong, Steph has a pretty tough whistle. I think outside of D Rose, Steph is one superstar I've seen. Like, he goes to the rack and gets damn near his head knocked off, and they don't call fouls. But other than that, everybody's shooting jump shots, bro. Like, no, they're not calling Jordan Poole flopping around the goddamn half court.
Hey, man,
like,
Jordan Poole, man, this nigga, man. Hey, dog, you get your shit together. You get your shit together, my nigga. Like, stop it right now.
I said I was gonna stop saying this, but I see why Draymond stole on his ass.
Oh, every there's once a week you see why Draymond punched this nigga. Once a week.
He just be tweaking, bro. Like, he'll do just some just absolute silly shit. And you'll be watching the game like, nah, he didn't just do that.
Like, right now, that nigga ain't just do that shit, man. But who do you got winning next? Maybe we can look like geniuses in the morning.
Well, the game behind me, I'm Miami, but I think the Lakers gonna go up 3-1. I don't think that 35, 40 point Bron is showing up right now. He may, be able to pull 1 or 2 of those out if they make it to the finals. But I do think you'll get a locked in, laser focused Bron to where he's really facilitating and basically damn near forcing AD to like, hey, bro, I'm gonna set you up, bring this shit home. Like,
I still think the Warriors are gonna win this series, but I kind of feel like Beanie Siegel and I can feel it in the video. I don't have a good feeling about tonight's game. I think the Warriors lose. I think there's a better fight for them tonight. But like you said, I think we get that LeBron, like, okay, I can't rely on this bitch nigga today. I gotta go back in the vintage Bron mode, and I gotta do what I gotta do. And I'm not saying it's gonna lead to 35. It might be a strong 26.
Right,
you're gonna
exactly.
see an engaged LeBron defensively. He's gonna hit a couple threes. I don't feel good about this game. I still, even if the Warriors go down 3-1, I'm still picking the Warriors because I feel like the Warriors are like a nigga that he don't take nothing seriously to his life on the line. Like a nigga that, oh shit, I gotta pay my gas bill right when he gets we finna shut this shit off notice. You know what I'm saying? Like the Warriors are them type niggas. So I feel like even them down 3-1, I still would probably pick them to win the series. As crazy that sounds, but I don't have a good feeling about game 4. I think the Lakers pull it out tonight. Pull it out.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree.
Last question before we get up out of here. Out of the current 8 teams still remaining, who do you have the most faith to be hoisting the Larry O.B. in 6 weeks from now?
Not a fucking soul, boy. I know I picked the Lakers to win.
Fair answer.
I know I picked the Lakers to win, but now
answer.
I'm leaning toward where you were, where it's like this joint is wide open, like, which is a good thing. But I think it's wide. I think it's wide open. I can't really, as much as I want to just pick one for the sake of answering the question, I can't really pick a team where I could look at them and say, "Oh yeah, they're gonna win the title." Like I don't know.
I think that's a fair answer. I'm still gonna say this thing. If there was a gun in my head, if somebody told me to put my apartment online, I would pick the team that's done it in the Warriors. But I gotta say, man, I gotta say, what me and my homie Waz, he came on my show this week. I know they lost the last 2 games. I really feel good about the Denver Nuggets. I really do. I really feel good about the Denver Nuggets. Like the Lakers is going to be a constant. What we gonna get from AD? It's gonna be a constant story throughout the entire postseason. Even if the Warriors advance, the Warriors they've been dominant for so long. They don't take shit serious till they have to. I don't think Phoenix is winning this series. The Celtics do too much dumb shit. Same thing with Philly. Miami, I don't think they will have enough to win the championship. They come out the East, but I don't think they have enough to be any Western Conference team. And I'm sorry, Knicks fans, but I'm just not. I'm not even thinking about the Knicks in finals right now. I'm just being real with you. So if I had to say,
while it lasted.
It was fun while it lasted, but I feel really good about the Denver Nuggets, man. So I'm gonna say Denver. I feel good about them. So that is all we got for y'all today. I think this is a very good episode. Shout out to me for actually having an extensive rundown today. I actually put this together last night. So I'm gonna give myself some credit on that. But that's all we got for y'all today, man. You know to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott, at Octoberzone Tay. Follow the Barberchair Network at BarberchairNet. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Visit the bcnet.com. We'll holler at y'all next week as we'll be getting ready for the conference finals, man. All of these series will be finishing this week. So we're almost at the finish line, man. So we out of here, y'all.